Hello, I'm Evan Hill with Hill People Gear. I'm going to talk today about our kit bag line. This will be an overview of all the models. We've been making the kit bags since 2010. There have been some small chest rigs, of course, that went before. There's always something that went before, but when you see something like this on a chest that's not a fishing pack, basically we're the ones who designed it and have been making it since then. So the kit bags are small pouches that you wear on your chest. They all have a comfortable mesh back H harness. They're designed to be worn kind of high and tight like this so that your diaphragm has full expansion. You can wear them underneath any backpack. So these are designed to be compatible with full-size packs. In fact, that's the problem that I was trying to solve with the original kit bag. You've got a full-size belted pack. Where are you going to have your pistol? And there's pouches that go on the belts, and that's an option. The problem there is you take your pack off and your pistol's now with your pack instead of on your body. And so these are designed to carry a pistol in a concealed compartment. What we ended up finding out is all of those little items that you want, regardless of what adventure you're on, end up in the kit bag. Nav gear, survival gear, maybe spare gloves, beanie, in my case a camera, binoculars. So it ends up being that common denominator of gear that you've always got. And so I have a kit bag that's always loaded the same way. And if I'm going on a day trip, I put a small pack on. If I'm going on a multi-day trip, put a big pack on. What the kit bags all have in common is a concealed pistol compartment at the back. This is designed for either left-handed or right-hand access, depending upon how you set it up. One common question we get is, okay, what kind of holster should I use? To us, that sounds like, what kind of holster should I put inside of my holster? This compartment is designed to carry a pistol and a pistol only. If you absolutely must have some kind of little secondary holster, there is a Velcro strip here where you could Velcro something on. All that does is slows draw time down, but for those who feel like they must have it, every kit bag has at least this. Additionally, there is in every kit bag a loop at the bottom here. If you're using a pistol like a Glock that doesn't really have a secondary safety mechanism, it's a good additional measure of safety to use a trigger guard shoe, a little Kydex trigger guard shoe. We sell one called the Zac that's made by Dale Fricke, and that just dummy cords into the bottom of this, so you've got some extra coverage for your trigger there. And when you pull it out, it pulls free. Other common features to all kit bags, in addition to the mesh back H harness, in addition to the concealed pistol compartment, is these clips here, and those are designed to be used with lifter straps. Now the lifter straps are a secondary system where when you're wearing a full pack, your lifter straps stay on the pack, and once you put the pack on, you clip the kit bag into it, and what it does is takes all the weight off of this back harness and loads your pack frame. Creates a counterbalance load even with a small pack. It's almost like a vest system with a small pack. They all have that. They don't all come with the straps, but the straps can be purchased separately, and when I get into the individual model breakdowns, I'll cover down on that. In addition, they all have tabs at the bottom for a stabilizer strap, which is a bungee cord that'll go down here. And what that is, if you're literally running with it, it'll prevent bounce lift like this, because it keeps its tension down here. A lot of folks will run without one. It all depends on how much weight is up here. As far as the harness is concerned, it'll easily fit up to somebody who's a 3X, and in fact, a guy who's a 3X wearing a life preserver still should be able to get the kit bag on over the life preserver. If you're bigger than that, we do have some options. Reach out to us via info@hillpeoplegear.com, and we'll square you away on what we can do for you there. All right, so when you're talking about the various models, the first thing you have to understand is that we have two different footprints. We have the original footprint, which is 11.5 by 7.5. And then we have the snubby footprint, which is 8.5 by 6. So obviously they'll hold different sizes of pistols. The snubby was designed to hold up to a Glock 19. The Glock 19 is kind of a tight fit, but does work, and that's kind of the upper size on that. The original footprint's designed to carry up to a 4-inch barreled Smith & Wesson in-frame revolver. Any of the standard full-size semi-autos with a light, even with optics, will go in this original. So you say, well, what I want to carry is a Glock 19 or smaller, that means I should get the snubby. Not necessarily. It really has more to do with how much additional gear you want to carry and kind of what your chest size is. The snubby, depending upon your chest size, just kind of sits out there like a brick and ends up not being as comfortable as the larger one, which wraps your chest. A small pistol in the larger footprint does not float around at all, because when you tighten it, it just locks that pistol right into place across the curvature of your chest. So if you're somebody who's a little bit smaller in the chest and you want to wear a backpack and you might have issues with pack straps impinging, you could go with the snubby. If you want something that's more discreet, you can go with the snubby. For general use and people who are, for the most part, normally sized, I tend to steer folks towards that original footprint. All right, so within that lineup, I'm going to go from the smallest and simplest on each side up to the largest and most complex. So the runner's kit bag and the snubby kit bag are the same exact model in two different footprints. So the snubby kit bag, well, both of them have a single compartment on the front, zip compartment with 2 slot pockets on the inside of that, and dummy cord loops at the bottom, at the top of those slot pockets. And behind that is just the pistol compartment, which you've already seen. And that's the snubby and the runners. Both of those come with a stabilizer strap, but no lifter straps. All right, the next size up is the recon. So the recon is exactly the runners, except for it adds this row of PALs on the front. Now, a side note on PALs. PALs is the military standard for attaching pouches, pouch attachment ladder system. That's the correct nomenclature for this kind of grid. MOLE is also a term that's often used because that refers to the pouches that go on it. So if you see PALs or MOLE, anytime we're using that, it's compatible with that system. The beauty of that is there are at least hundreds of different pouches from a variety of different vendors, including going down to the military surplus store, that you can get to buy pouches that attach on the front. So when you have this standard, it allows you to do some of your own organization. So the recon kit bag in the full-size footprint, now this does not come with a stabilizer or lifters, but you can add it. And then in the snubby lineup, we have the snubby recon. Now it differs a little bit in that it only has the PALs. It does not have the zippered pouch like the runners do and like the recon does. So this is actually our most minimal because it has pistol compartment, PALs on the front. That is it. Then in the full-size lineup, we have kind of an interesting middle ground. This is what we call the heavy recon. So this has, at the back, that same pistol compartment, the difference being that it's a full Velcro field. This is for folks who are using this, not just to carry a pistol, but we have folks who are using this, their pistols, somewhere else, but they're using like a full low pro mag shingle setup in here or something like that. But if you want that full Velcro back, this is the model that gives you that option. Then this model introduces a large interior pocket that at the back of it has a Velcro field, a Velcro loop field that's actually laser cut with that PALS grid. So you can put either Velcro backed or MOLE pouches on the inside here. Then it has dual slot pockets on the inside with dummy cord loops. The depth of this pocket is 1.5 inches. And then this has a full panel laser cut PALS grid on the front. So again, you can put any PALS pouches on the front of this, mag shingles, organization pouches, whatever. Part of the reason that we only have a little bit of depth on this pocket is by the time you've filled the main interior compartment and put some stuff on the front, that's as big as you want it to go. But this will take, for example, our binocular pouch. We have a small and large binocular pouch, so you can have pistol, gear, and binoculars. That's kind of thick. Probably a more popular setup is the binocular pouch on the Recon or the Snubby Recon. But at any rate, that's the heavy Recon. And it comes with the lifter straps. So the next step up in the lineup, and probably our most popular, is what's called the original. And this is very similar to the heavy Recon. It does have just the single Velcro here in the pistol compartment. The main compartment is a full 2 inches deep. And so that's your main cargo compartment on that pack. It's the same where it has the laser cut PALS grid here, plus the slot pockets with the dummy cord loop. Oh, one thing I should mention, it also has a single row of PALS on the bottom, as does the heavy Recon that I just showed you. That's nice for a tourniquet pouch, a knife. I personally carry a little camera tripod underneath there, but anything that will go on that single row of PALS you can mount on the bottom of this. And then the front slot pocket, the same as on the runners, where you open it up and okay, here's 2 more organizational slot pockets. And a common question that people have is, well, should I get the heavy Recon or this? If you absolutely want organizational pouches on the front of your kit bag, the heavy Recon's the biggest volume way that you're going to get that. However, by the time you've added some organizational pouches on the front of that, you've spent more and added more weight than just getting this. And this will handle most of your organizational needs. So that's why this really is kind of the most popular and all around useful for on the trail. You know, if you're running in town, maybe you want the runners or the Snubby or something low profile, but for field use, this kind of is the standard. And we do have that same bag in the Snubby lineup. That's the Snubby original pattern. It's identical except for on the Snubby footprint. A note about volume. If you fill this thing up, it won't hold any more than the runner's kit bag in the full-size footprint. So for my uses, and others will vary, but I thought, oh, this would be cool, I'll use this, and I set one of those up. I very quickly figured out that I'd much rather have a runner's with the same volume and a larger footprint. It's, for me, much more comfortable than messing around with this thing. But again, if you want that narrower footprint, this is your largest volume item in the Snubby lineup. So this was the kit bag that I personally always use. Oh, and those do both come with lifter straps, but not the stabilizer strap. And then we have one more variant here that we worked on with the folks out at Randall's Adventure Training. They have a search and rescue unit. This is the SAR kit bag. It is exactly the original, except for it adds a single angled row of PALS for a radio on the front, and it adds Velcro loop for a name tape or some sort of ID badge or something like that, which is common in that community. So if you have a use for this plus a little bit of extra, then the SAR is the one that you're going to want. I personally am using the SAR now simply because I can carry my knife here, and I've got a little bit notorious. I also have my spoon there. It's a good spot for it. But that's the SAR kit bag. So that's sort of the whole lineup as far as the kit bags are concerned. A couple of other things I want to mention. So we talked about the mesh-backed H-harness that they all have. There are folks who say, well, I just want a little bit of capacity for like a water bladder or something on the back. So these were designed to go underneath small packs, and my personal preference is just to put our smallest pack, the Terra, on over if I want a little bit of extra capacity. But there are folks out there who are really happy with an all-in-one solution. This is the Recon harness. It replaces, it's not a substitution, you'll have to buy it separately, but it will replace that mesh-backed H-harness, and it gives you storage for a water bladder. It'll take a 3 liter, 2 liters is kind of the right size. And then on the back of that, you have the PALS cut grid with a compression strap across it. So you can compress like a windbreaker or something. You can have a few pouches, and that'll give you an all-in-one vest solution. And there are folks who travel in more temperate climates than we do who really like this setup because they don't need a puffy jacket. At the most, they're only going to want a windbreaker, and 2 liters of water is all they need. So that's a solution that you can put on the back of any one of these. The other thing that I'd like to mention is the belt pack. This is exactly the Snubby original pattern, but on a belt. Now that's a popular thing again. You don't look out of place wearing a little belt pack in public or across the chest. We have this in a variety of, like this is multicam black, which is pretty much just a fashion color, but lots of folks like it. And so that's an option if you want pistol carry in sort of a different configuration than this. So one question that we get pretty regularly is, I'm a gal, is a kit bag going to work for me? And that's just going to vary based on personal preference. I used to think that it had to do with sort of how you were built, but I've heard lots of reports from ladies with all sorts of different kinds of belts who either do love the kit bag or don't. Lots of ladies carry them. They'll maybe carry them looser, or they'll carry them lower, or runners, I've seen them strapped high and tight. So if you're a gal, kit bag may well work for you, or you might hate it. That's going to be personal preference. And we have plenty of reviews, like on our forums online, of gals saying, oh, I love it, here's the best thing ever. Still may not work for you, but it might be worth a shot, and we'll work with you on the return. That's not a problem if you get one and decide that you don't like it. So that is the Hill People Gear kit bag lineup. They're all made in the US, out of US materials. Like I said, we've been around since 2010 making these. This model in particular got knocked off by a fashion house in LA, directly knocked off in leather and metal zippers, knocked off right down to the logo placement and everything. It was really kind of strange. And then that got popular, and so then other fashion houses started knocking that off. So you'll see a lot of fashion looking bags that look just like this. To us, it's just kind of fun because that's a market that we were never going to sell into. But if you see those, that's where it's coming from. It was either the knockoff or a knockoff of a knockoff. But the nice thing about that, it kind of provides cover. If you're wearing a real kit bag in an urban environment, it may not be out of place. We've talked to customers who, I remember one customer was a bouncer at a club in LA, and he said, yeah, I see like 2 or 3 of those a night, the knockoff ones. So that might give you a little bit of top cover for wearing a chest rig. So that's the overview of the Hill People Gear kit bag lineup. Now, where do you find us? Online, hillpeoplegear.com. We do have some bricks and mortars, and we also have some online companies overseas that sell our products. There's some bricks and mortars in the States. You can find that information on our website, hillpeoplegear.com, and of course you can purchase directly from us. We ship all over the world, so if you're overseas, the shipping and customs and all that may be expensive, but you can purchase directly from us. The other places to find information, we have a YouTube channel, YouTube/Hill People Gear. We have, in addition to product videos like this, we have in the field videos, which are just adventure videos and field experience videos. We have a longhouse instructional series that a lot of people have found value in. On Facebook, there's the Hill People Gear Owners Group. This is a dedicated group of people who use our gear all the time in the backcountry, and it's a great place to ask questions and get perspective other than the official company line. On our website, we have a forum that has a whole lot of in-depth discussion about products and outdoor related topics, and even some philosophical topics related to outdoor travel or wilderness thinking. So those are all places that you can find us online. And of course, we're on Instagram. We post about a picture a day on Instagram, and that's at Hill People Gear. And you might want to follow us for scenic outdoor shots. Everything's designed here in western Colorado, so most of the pictures you see are us in the mountains of Colorado or the deserts of Colorado or Utah. A lot of folks appreciate getting that Instagram feed. So that's Hill People Gear, and we appreciate your time.